Hello, folks. Welcome back to The Slice. I'm Stephen Boughton, and we are in the Mutua Madrid Open quarterfinals. And we got some juicy matchups, okay? We got Nadal versus Thiem, which is probably the biggest one. So I'm going to break down that matchup, what I think is going to happen, and tell you why I think these are the best quarterfinals we've had so far in this clay swing. So Nadal versus Thiem is a huge matchup, obviously, but if you watch the last time they played, it didn't go so well for Thiem, and it wasn't even that close of a match. 0-2. Nadal gave him a big old bagel and said, here, take this, eat this, and come back and try again next time, buddy. But I think Thiem has taken that bagel and learned a lot from it. I think that he's over his injury woes, which might have still been affecting him in the last one where he'd like broken his ankle, and it was kind of his first tournament back on clay. So that might have been a little bit of a factor. And I think Nadal might not be as on point as he was back then, as he has played so many matches, winning all the tournaments so far, or the two that he's played, Monte Carlo and then Barcelona. And Nadal against Schwartzman earlier today, actually, he didn't look as invincible as he had in the other matches. It was actually a pretty close match, 6-3, 6-4. And Schwartzman definitely had some inroads there into the match, and he could have, maybe done more damage. Nonetheless, Nadal got through and played well. But I definitely think Thiem has a good chance here because he's beaten him twice on clay in the past. Not many players can say that. And I think a thing that Thiem would want to do is not give Nadal too much of an angle. Like, obviously go to the backhand more. But when you're going to the forehand, don't go to the forehand angled unless you really, I feel like, are going to know you're going to hit a good shot. So if you can just rip a shot, I feel like almost closer to the center line where Nadal's not able to use his great movement on clay to get out there and create that extra angle. I think that's a good tactic for him. So Thiem, because you're watching this, obviously, do that. And you'll probably still lose. But I don't know. I think that he's got a pretty good chance. Nadal is definitely going to want to work on the backhand of Thiem, but I would also say don't give him too much angle there. But I don't really know what I'm talking about because I've only played on clay one time. But the other matches are also going to be sick. So that's Nadal versus Thiem. I think that Nadal is definitely the favorite. Obviously, it would be pretty dumb to say otherwise. And I wouldn't really put upset alert. And even if Thiem were to win, it's not like that crazy of an upset because Thiem's probably the second best clay court player in the world. Now, before we keep going, please subscribe. I would appreciate it if you click that button down there. It helps out the slice, and it'll help you not miss out on anything and be the best tennis fan you can be. Next up, we got Lajovic versus Anderson. This is probably the least exciting and least hyped up quarterfinal in the group because, who the heck is Dusan Lajovic? Just kidding. If you know anything about tennis, so you follow the tour, he's a good player. He's kind of a journeyman. And it's kind of weird that he's here, honestly, because last week, I think in Barcelona, he got murdered by Novak Djokovic, like 0-1. Like, it was bad. So he's here, which is cool. He took out Juan Martín del Potro to get here to play another big gun, Kevin Anderson, who's had his woes in the Masters 1000 level. So that'll be an interesting match. And the winner of that gets to get murked by either Nadal or Thiem. And then we got a really exciting matchup between some young guns, including my man, Denis Shapovalov, a bona fide slice hater. Just kidding, but he did reject an interview from Canada, though, so you have to keep loving him. Shapovalov versus Edmund. This is going to be a sweet matchup because they're obviously both awesome. Edmund made it to the semifinals of Australia. Still can't get that through my head. But his forehand was looking astronomical during that run. So he hasn't played well since then. And I think Shapovalov versus Edmund is going to be great on clay, especially because clay, they both have big, I would say, equal weapons. Shapovalov can move better on hard court or clay, but Edmund has less of a weakness in his backhand. So I think it's going to be a great match, and it's going to come down to whoever is better mentally and plays a smarter match. So it's going to be good to watch, and I think whoever wins that has a good chance to make it to the final of a Masters 1000. Really, really help their ranking. And the final quarterfinal matchup is Isner versus Zverev, a rematch of the Miami final, which was sick, with Isner coming out on top, winning his first. That was a sick. No one was really watching that as much because none of the big guys were at the end, but that was a sweet Masters 1000 final. Isner was so stoked. It was cool to see him win his first one. Now, I think Zverev is going to win this matchup because he looked better in this tournament. He looked really good earlier today against Leonardo Meyer, really cooking him up, just looking solid for the first time in a while, I guess, other than Miami, where he started to play better. So he's had a good run of form, and I don't know, actually kind of forget how he's done in clay. He hasn't done that good in the last clay tournaments either, but he is looking good right now. And Isner's serve isn't going to be as fast because it's on clay, and even though it's going to bounce higher, Zverev's a little bit taller. So I think he'll be able to return it well. He's never struggled with it that much in the past, and I think I'm calling Zverev getting through this one. So there you have it, a breakdown of the quarterfinals in Madrid. It's been a sweet tournament. Djokovic, obviously, another big story, going down to Edmund. Oh, yeah, I guess that's the thing. Edmund beat Djokovic, so he's obviously playing pretty good. But, yeah, Djokovic is just his ranking's really falling, and he's not doing that well now. So we're going to – yeah, it's weird. Like, is he still injured? I don't know. Or is he just kind of lost his star power? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. But who do you see winning the Madrid? I'm still calling Nadal for sure, but Thiem is probably the only guy who has a really big chance of beating him. But then maybe we could see Alexander Zverev in the final, taking it to Nadal. You never know. I don't know how Nadal's energy levels are. I talked a bit about this on the Monday Night Slice, the best tennis podcast in the world right now. And if you're not subscribed, you're missing out. Please subscribe. Just kidding. But do what you want. But we talked about that on the podcast. And yeah, you got to think that he would be getting tired after just winning all these matches in a row on clay. But who knows? That's the show, folks. Thanks for watching. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's the show, folks. Thanks for watching. Head to theslicetennis.com for the best fan-written tennis articles from around the world. We are starting very soon with every second day new article coming out, dropping the hottest fire on the tennis world. Okay, so if you want to know what's going on and know the ins on the tennis world, then you better go to theslicetennis.com right away.